Welcome, everyone. So glad you could join us tonight for our program on Libby and learning about some of the key things to keep an eye out for as you're swapping over from Overdrive. My name is Lisa. I'm with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and I'm joined today by my pal Becca, who's going to be leading us through this transfer and setup. And we've got our faithful pal Shannon here hanging out in the Q&A box to keep an eye on your questions as they come in. So do get those questions typed in as we go along. If you need clarification or something or anything else comes up, just type that into the questions box on the GoToWebinar menu. If you're on a mobile device, that's just going to look like a little question mark that you can tap on. And then we will get to those during the Q&A at the end of the program. So with the introductions and all that out of the way, I'm going to hand things over to Becca and we'll start going through our program.
Hi, everyone. All right, so as Lisa said, today we're going to be discussing the Libby app and basically how to sign in for the first time and also all the features that you can access on there. So first off, you're probably needing to know where you can access Libby. So you can either download the app from the Google Play Store for your Androids or from the Apple App Store for your Apple devices. It's going to be called Libby by Overdrive, and that's the one you want to download. And if you don't have a mobile device, that's not an issue either. You can also use Libby on your computer in your web browser at the URL libbyapp.com. And also, if you want to go through our website as well, you can go to hcplc.org/ebooks, and that also will bring up Overdrive/Libby, and you can redirect to Libby through there.
Gotta love a shortcut.
So first off, we're going to go over how to sign in with your library card for the first time. Whether you're coming from Overdrive or you're doing it completely for the first time at all, I'm going to briefly go through the text on there, and then we're going to watch a little video that has a visual as well. So first, you're going to go into the app or your web page. It's going to automatically prompt you and ask you if you have a library card. You're going to click yes. Hopefully you have a library card. And then it's going to ask you to type in your local library. So there you're going to type in Hillsborough County. It's going to bring up Hillsborough County Public Library Cooperative as the first result. So you'll click on that. And then it's going to ask you to sign in with your library card. So here you're going to type in your full library card number. And then under that, you're going to put in your PIN, which reminder should be the last 4 digits of your phone number. After that, it should let you in. Just so you know, if you do have any issues with that, I'd recommend going over to your local library and they can be able to help you. You may need to redo your card or something else might be going on. So now we'll show the video. So this is the first page that comes up when you log in. You'll click yes, you'll go to search for your library, which is the second one there. Here is where you're going to type in Hillsborough County. And the first one there, your first result should be Hillsborough County Public Library Cooperative, and you're going to click on that. Here you're going to go to sign in with my card. So make sure you have your library card ready. You're going to type in your long number there. Which might take a second. And then you can go type in your PIN, which again is the last 4 of your phone number. So here it should pop up like that. And then you can click next, then you know you're fully signed in. It'll keep you signed in, so you're not going to have to do that every time you go into the app. Also, after that, if you saw, it does have something that asks you about Kindle device. So if you do want to read mainly with your Kindle, you'll click yes there. It asks if you want to read with your Kindle mainly. That will just set it up so it automatically will send it over to your Kindle. Otherwise, you could skip that and you'll just read through the Libby app. Okay, so next up, we're going to go over that menu bar that's at the bottom of your app or web page, and this just has different features that you could do in Libby. The first bar there is the first icon is your search icon, and this is where you're going to go to look for your specific titles you're wanting, specific authors, keywords. You could search that there, and it's going to bring up a bunch of results. You can also explore with filters here, which that bottom picture is going to be under the search bar, and those 3 lines there are the icons that you're going to click that will expand your filter menu. Here it's going to have a little box showing you, and this will bring up a bunch of different things you can click on. You can explore different genres, different formats, audiences, and current popular books, and that's a great way to find new reads and things like that. Next is the library icon. This is where you can browse the Hillsborough County Library System. It has a lot of really cool guides and curated collections that change throughout the year. We're constantly making new ones. They have different genres, events, and subjects. For example, some of the ones they have right now are cold case mysteries, I think best books from 2022. So that's another good place to go if you want to find some new books to read, some new genres. And next is the menu icon, which is in the center there. This allows you to manage your different cards and add libraries. Of course, if you just have the Hillsborough one, you don't have to worry about that. You can also find help and support here, which has a frequently asked questions that can be very helpful. And it also has a suggestion box where you can put features that you want them to add to Libby. Just a reminder, that's not for title recommendations, that's more for features in Libby. And you can also change your accessibility features, so like different text and lighting and things like that. And you can also manage your notifications. So when you go to that menu icon, there's actually going to be a box at the top of that tab, and that is where your notifications are going to show up. So these will let you know if a book was returned or if a hold is ready for you to borrow. So if you manage your notifications, you can also choose if you want those to appear when you're outside of your Libby app, just on your phone or things like that. All right, and now we have the shelf icon, which will probably be your most used, because this is where you'll go to look at all your current loans that you have out, your holds, and your tags. So as you can see, this picture on the bottom shows the 3 different labels that you can toggle between. So we have your loans, which is what you have out currently. So you can read your ebooks, listen to your audiobooks. Your holds are going to be what you've put that you're waiting for. And then tags are basically a great way that you can organize things throughout Libby. So you can create a tag, say you're going to browse and you just want to make a list of books you want to read in the future. You can tag them as a to-read list. And then later, if you go to your shelf and you go to your tags, you can look at that list on its own. So it's a good way to keep things organized like that. And the last icon there is your timeline icon, which I know a lot of people coming into the library always say, I don't know if I read this book before or not. So this is a good feature that Libby has. Basically, it's going to keep track of all the items you've checked out since you logged into Libby for the first time. And you can basically scroll back down there and see a list of everything you've read before. Okay, so now we're going into some tips. So this is one that I think is really helpful. This turns on labels for your toolbar there at the bottom. It actually defaults to just be the symbols. So this will put the words underneath. We'll show the video. So basically you're going to go to the menu tab there in the center, then scroll down and go to customize navigation. And then that little toggle there, you're going to click on, the check mark should come on. And then you'll know that it went through because you should then see the labels there. So again, I'll just go through it again one more time. You're going to go to the menu tab right there in the center. Yep, and then you're going to scroll down and go to settings. And then scroll down there, go to customize navigation, and then toggle that on. And then it'll stay there for the remainder of you using the app.
Let's see if we can't make that bigger. It's supposed to get a little bit bigger for us.
It's a little small.
Doesn't seem to be cooperating. Oh, there we go.
It is. Okay, so
that'll give the folks at home a little bigger of a view there.
Okay, so there you went to the menu, then to settings, customize navigation, and you toggle that on. And then that'll be on for you, so it'll be easier to know which icon what it means and everything.
All right.
Okay, now for syncing your Overdrive wish list. So obviously if you're using Libby for the first time and you haven't come from Overdrive, you don't need to worry about this. But if you do want to sync a wish list that you have in Overdrive into Libby, this is how you'll go about it. It does know because you used your library card to sign into both. So it'll actually automatically in your notifications, it's going to ask you if you want to sync to the Overdrive wish list. So there you're going to click yes, you want to sync your wish lists. It's then going to prompt you and ask if you want to create a new tag or use a pre-existing tag. I just recommend creating a new tag. I feel like it's easier. And you can name it whatever you'd like. So to read, wish list, and then you're going to click create. It's going to automatically sync it then, and the new tag will appear in your shelf menu under tags. And it's going to exactly match the one you have in Overdrive. You then can add things in Libby to that tag and it'll keep automatically updating it. So that's a good way to keep your wish list if you want to do that. All right, next up we have how to change your borrowing time or lending time. So big reminder, this can only be changed while you're borrowing a book. So right now you can't do it in your settings or anything, just when you're borrowing something. So when you're going to your title, you click borrow and then it's going to pop up a little text that's going to have that first picture there. And where it has the number of days, you're going to click there. So it does, I think it automatically defaults to 14. So I do recommend, if you want the longest you can, going in there, and then it's going to have the next picture and you can click 21 days there. The star will move to 21 days and then that will remain as your default. So you don't need to do this every single time you borrow a book. I just recommend it the first time. You can change it to what you want it to stay at, and then it'll automatically do that from then on. All right, so if you are wanting some more information, we do have great resource on our website. If you go to hcplc.org/ebooks, the first one there, I think, is Overdrive/Libby. Here you can see there's an app back, so that has your frequently asked questions. You can go through all of those. It goes through a lot of things more in depth. And there's also, I think it's like a minute-long Libby tutorial video that's helpful too if you want a visual and all that. So that's a great place to go if you need extra information. I'll pass it over to Lisa to discuss our resource.
We also have, if you're having trouble getting the information you need using the tutorials and the website, and obviously today we'll go through as many questions as we can for the Q&A, but we might not be able to get to everything or really help you with that one-on-one troubleshooting. So this is where your local branches come into play. A lot of our branches offer what we call walk-in tech help. And with that, you can, depending on the branch, it'll either be first come, first serve on a specific day and time, or it'll be by appointment on a specific day and time. So what you're going to want to do is go to the library calendar and sign up for one of those. So kind of like you signed up for tonight's program, for the virtual program, you go to that calendar, just type in walk-in tech help, and it'll pop up all the walk-in tech helps that we have throughout the county. If you know that you can only really get to a specific branch, narrow that down by which branch is closest to you and see what times they have available. So they'll let you know right on that calendar entry whether it's something that you have to sign up for ahead of time or whether it's first come, first serve as a walk-in. But that's going to be a great way to get that very, very specific help with your specific device and your specific account, and really get it set up the way it needs to be for you. So I would encourage you, if that's at all possible for you, to get to your local branch and try that out if you're having any kind of sticking point while you're getting yourself switched over from Overdrive. So I know there have been a lot of questions on, I can't get it to work on this one kind of device, but it does work on the other one, and I don't understand why. Just take those devices with you and they will help you troubleshoot that in real time with your actual devices. So definitely check that out. hcplc.org/events is where the calendar is, and we do have the QR code up there on the screen. If that's something that you like to do, you can point your cell phone at that image, and that'll take you directly to our calendar where those walk-in tech helps are listed. So we'll leave that up here for just another minute, and then we'll go over to our Q&A slide and start diving into your questions. We wanted to leave as much time as possible after we went through kind of the overview to get to your questions so that we can get you comfortable with using Libby. I'm a big fan of Libby versus the Overdrive app. I've been using it for a couple of years now, actually, since they first rolled it out. So I'm really excited that other folks are going to get to try it out now and make that swap.
I've completely only used Libby, so I didn't actually use Overdrive, but I love Libby. I think it's really helpful and nice.
I feel like I used Overdrive more on the website for some of those tools, and then used Libby more for my app. So yeah. All right, I'm going to swap us over to our Q&A slide. Definitely keep those questions coming in. I see we've got a couple already in that Ms. Shannon's going to read out for us.
So can you download books so they can be listened to without internet connection, like if you're on a flight?
So yes, you can do that. Basically, once you first borrow a book, if you go into your shelf, it usually will have, it's like a cloud symbol with an arrow. If you click that, it's going to download it onto your device. And then that means when you're not connected to the internet, you'll be able to fully listen to the audiobook or read the book. So you can definitely do that on the airplane.
Yeah, I know a lot of patrons when they're getting ready for a cruise, they'll make sure they have their audiobooks preloaded so they don't have to use that expensive cruise data.
Mm-hmm.
Is Overdrive becoming obsolete?
Yes and no. Overdrive is the company that makes Libby. You'll see on all the graphics, it's Libby by Overdrive. So it's still the same company behind it, but they're really focusing on Libby as that interface that you use.
It's evolving.
Yeah.
Is there a way to request a book that's not in the catalog?
So there is a way, when you do a search, if a book is not currently in our collection, it will give you an option to, I think you click notify me when this is available. Yeah, and that'll let us know that's something you're interested in. And it will then, if we add it to our collection, then we'll give you a notification that it's available. And just a reminder that it won't automatically put it on hold for you. So make sure if it does come available, you then go and borrow it or put it on hold. So that option is there now.
Yep. It didn't used to be originally when Libby first rolled out. That was a feature that was still missing for a long time. So I'm really, really glad that that one is now rolled out with the updated version of Libby.
And if there's a new book that comes out on the market today, will Libby have it? Does Libby have these books?
It depends. Basically, it's catered to your specific library. So I'm pretty sure they show books before we even have them available, and you can put them on hold. So when they're released, you'll be able to read.
Part of that is driven not so much by Libby, but by the publishers. So some publishers, if they are releasing a new book, they immediately release it where it's available for library ebooks to use, to borrow, to put holds on. Some publishers have an embargo or a delay where a certain period of time when a book comes out, it's not available to libraries yet. And then after that period passes, then it's available for libraries to use. So that is going to be driven more by the publisher's individual policy rather than Libby's policy. But Libby does have tons and tons of new releases. Again, that's going to be more of a publisher deciding factor than a Libby factor.
And last but not least, will this presentation be posted on the library's YouTube channel?
Yes. This program, like most of our other programs, will appear on the library's YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with that, you go to youtube.com/Tampa Hills Lib. That's TAMPAHILLSLIB. That has all of our content that we're able to share. So definitely all of this original content is available for you on our YouTube channel. Definitely go in and look that up. It's a great way if you're maybe helping to manage a library account for maybe an older family member who's not as comfortable doing a live webinar themselves. This might be something where you go to that YouTube channel later on, you sit down with them and watch it together and kind of work on setting up their app.
And that was it for the questions, ladies.
Okay, well, since we just touched on helping an older family member with their account, I'll give you a quick tip that I think is a lot of times helpful for managing either an older family members or maybe a kid's account. Where Becca mentioned that you can switch between accounts in Libby and that little button in the middle. There are some folks that will have the account for their family member also on that same app signed in. So, for example, if they have an older family member that has a hard time navigating that Libby interface themselves, they will go ahead and borrow those books for them and have it automatically sent to that person's Kindle. So as long as their Kindle's on, they're getting those books added in the background seamlessly. So that's definitely something to consider if you're helping a family member out with that. So I'll leave you with that last tip. Becca, any last tips from you for Libby?
I don't
any
think
favorite
so.
features?
I do think it's a really great app. I do encourage you, if you want to learn more about it, to get into your local library. They're very helpful and nice. So yeah.
All right, folks. Well, I think that wraps up our questions. Again, check that out on the library's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tampa Hills Lib. And if you're not sure where to find that after the program, just go to our contact page. You can reach out to us and we will set you up with that information, hcplc.org/contact or 813-273-3652. Our next upcoming spotlights are going to be on Bloom's literature. They're going to be exploring Edgar Allan Poe's poem Annabel Lee using that research tool. That's going to be on April 5th at 6 p.m. And then in May, we are going to be doing a spotlight on the Morningstar Investment Research Center, or MIRC. So if you're looking at maybe revamping how you're managing some money, that might be an interesting tool for you to explore. That's going to be on Wednesday, May 5th at 6 p.m. So we hope to see you for those programs. Becca, thank you so much for this overview on Libby. I'm sure it's going to be so helpful to folks. And I can't wait for everyone to start exploring that tool themselves. And Shannon, thank you so much for helping out with our Q&A. Folks at home, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you at the next program and in our branches. Good night, friends.
Bye.